thank Dr. Sundaram, esteemed Director of Agrastri, which has organized this webinar uh, on the occasion of commemorating the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Sri A.B. Vajpayee. The day is celebrated as National Good Governance Day. The subject of the commemoration is an important one, challenges faced by local bodies in providing good governance. Mr. Gorpadeji has made an excellent presentation on the subject on the backdrop of his personal experience as a good administrator, as also a person who has functioned as an elected functionary in Panchayat Raj institution. And he has had very vast experience in different areas relating to development in general and rural development in particular. And his presentation that we have heard now, seen, encompasses a vast area of different activities involved in rural development, the deficiencies and the requirements for good governance are also almost elicited very widely. Again, thank him for that. Having come from a similar background of Panchayat Raj, having been an elected functionary at an intermediate level long time ago for 5 years, and as Jilla Parishad, at that time it was called Jilla Parishad in Karnataka, and presently it is Jilla Panchayat. President for 5 years. We have been working in the representative body of Gram Panchayat, Taluk and Jilla Panchayat in the state of Karnataka. Mr. Gorpade is, as you said, the respected Vice President of our association, and he has been very cooperative and useful in giving his suggestions and involving himself in the activities of the Parishad. Parishad is a link between the elected Panchayat Raj institutions and the rural development Panchayat Raj department, especially the state government. Especially after the Constitution 73rd Amendment, which came into force in 1993, April 24, Karnataka was the first state to bring in a new legislation immediately after the Constitutional Amendment came into effect in the country. And Panchayat Raj Act of Karnataka Panchayat Raj Act 1993 has been amended many a time, and the recent comprehensive amendments took place in 2015, came into effect in 2016. And as a legal framework, we have a very good legislation in place, and the previous government was quick enough to bring in, to formulate rules to implement the various provisions of the Act. I feel we still have to go a long way. At one time when the Jilla Parishad and Mandal Panchayat system was in place between 1987 and 1992, I had the rare opportunity at that time, because that experiment was only short-lived. It was only for a 5-year period. And in terms of devolution, it was also sought to be evolved as a district government at that time. At the same time, the persons mainly involved in that experiment were the then Chief Minister, late Sri Ramakrishna Hegdeji. The Department of Rural and Panchayat Raj was ably handled by late Abdul Nazir Saab, because I have to mention his contribution to Panchayat Raj in Karnataka. His vision of Panchayat Raj was that Gandhian concept of Gram Raj should be brought into being in Karnataka. Coincidentally, today, December 25th, happens to be his birth anniversary also. We in Karnataka from the Panchayat Parishad had thought of big celebration on this occasion. Along with the State Institute of Rural Development, named after him, Sri Abdul Nazir Saab, State Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, set up in the city of Mysore. Because of the ongoing Panchayat elections, two phases. First phase, elections were held on 22nd. The next phase will be held on Saturday, 27th. Because of the enforcement of code of conduct during elections, we could not celebrate the day as such today. Anyway, this is very significant. We have the Christmas Day being celebrated all over. Same time, there are various issues that we have to examine to find out whether we have good governance in the local bodies, what are the deficiencies, and how to go about. I would say, firstly, the legal or statutory framework of establishing these Panchayat Raj institutions. Karnataka being a state with a population of more than 20 lakhs, we have 3 levels of elected panchayat at the village, taluk, and also district. Now, after many amendments, many of which strengthen the Panchayat Raj edifice in the state, we can fairly say that we have a good statute, many of whose features have still to be implemented. Government has a long way to go. I would say, for an effective implementation of Panchayat Raj in any state, political will is very essential. Prior to the amendment of Constitution, the existence of PRIs depended on the whims and fancies of the party in power at the state. After the Constitution amendment, it is mandatory on the part of the states to establish panchayats, and many of the mandatory features of the Constitution have to be implemented. But unfortunately, the letter and spirit of the Constitution, they have yet to be realized in many states, including our own state. Taking the instance of the institution of District Planning Committee, which is mandatory under 74th Amendment to the Constitution. We still, after so many years now, from 1993, up to date, we have not been able to. I think there are many other states also which fall in this category, to make these bodies functional. Karnataka, during the recent comprehensive amendment as suggested by Mr. Ramesh Kumar Samiti, and we have also 2 other institutions set up to give primacy to planning in the state. I feel after so many years, we talk of decentralization, devolution of funds, and on 3 Fs. That devolution must be followed by, must include proper planning by the Panchayat Raj institutions at different levels. We have now provided for setting up a state planning committee called Karnataka State Decentralized Planning and Development Committee, of which Mr. Ghorpade was one of the 5 vice presidents. That committee is headed by the Honorable Chief Minister of the state. The other 4 vice presidents are ex officio ministers holding departments relating to urban development, rural development, financial planning. It has had to take off in the sense. We also have a provision in the State Act after the recent comprehensive amendment, as I said. Even the nomenclature has been changed as Karnataka Gram Swaraj and Panchayat Raj Act to reflect the efforts of the government to bring in Gandhian concept of Gram Swaraj. We are at it. Now, Mr. Gorpadeji already referred to because program-wise, about 29 subjects that are seen in the Constitution schedule, we have incorporated because in all other states also similarly that incorporation is done after the Constitution Amendment. In our Panchayat Act, different activities being given to panchayats at different levels. There is a delineation and responsibility mapping, as mentioned in the State Act, is yet to take place. And he referred to the requirement of a linked document, as we have in the state of Kerala. Once the budget is presented, and in the district sector, every panchayat at all three levels would know what would be the allocation given to that panchayat under the budget, so that they could immediately take up preparing the action plans for implementation. And in the normal course, preparing the action plan after getting the plan details from the respective department would take its own time, and very little time would be left in the financial year for implementation of those plan programs. Next, and in addition to this, is a new addition to give importance to planning. We devised the State Planning Committee concept at the block level to integrate local planning, both urban and rural, Panchayat Raj and also urban development bodies in the particular block or taluk here. So we have set up now a taluk decentralized planning and development committee that is headed by the local member of the State Legislative Assembly representing that constituency. So it is becoming functional now. These are certain aspects we see, especially in the state of Karnataka, apart from DPC, which is mandatory to be established in every state. So these are certain issues. The important requirements for development, various activities, which Mr. Gorpade's presentation has encompassed all of them, relating to these 29 subjects and even more, how the local body should devise its plan and start implementing. Especially during this pandemic, I have to mention here, because he referred to that also. Local bodies in Karnataka were greatly involved in combating this COVID-19 pandemic in the state. The elected Gram Panchayat functionaries and the members at the Gram Panchayat level were involved actively through the task forces that set up for this purpose in each Gram Panchayat. Since the term of office, 5-year term ended recently in the State Election Commission, because of the pandemic, extended the period, did not extend the period, but the matter went up the State High Court, and elections were held on the direction of the High Court belatedly. These elected the bodies now, elected representatives are being, elections are being held, and the results will be out on 30th. By the end of the first month of next year, we will have the elected functionaries in place, panchayats in place completely. So they we were able to educate through the panchayats involving the concerned department, health department, local rural development panchayat department. They came together. Panchayats were coordinating organizations at that level, educating the people, and especially he referred to uh, difficulties faced by the people, migrant labor, and want of employment for them. In devising uh, activities, development activities under in the NAREGA, panchayats were able to provide employment at the same time having development activities for the people in need of employment to a great extent. I do not wish to take because planning is an important aspect. The GPDP, Gram Panchayat Development Plan, uh, was resorted to a couple of years ago in Karnataka, and SIRD was greatly involved in this experiment. Now it is being emulated at the national level also. So the 5-year vision plan that was uh, thought to be prepared at each panchayat, gram panchayat level is in place, and according to the State Finance Commission recommendation, the recommendations have been accepted by the previous government. Uh, they are being brought into effect annually. But in view of the pandemic and the requirement of finances to combat that, the allocation of funds has not been to the expected levels. And we in Karnataka have this problem as we have a municipal administration department, we have a municipal administration service. We have also a separate cooperative service, excluding, providing for a trained personnel to man various official positions in the municipal administration and also cooperative department respectively. Even though we uh, provided this in this recent amendment provided for setting up of panchayat services, administrative services, for various reasons because of mostly I would feel bureaucratic hurdles, we have not been able to see them uh, established in the state so far. As you said, people coming from different departments, not directly related to rural development or panchayat raj, they take official positions at important levels. And then after some period, they go away without any commitment to the job they do. That has been a disservice to panchayat raj and the development activities in our state. These are some of the uh, shortcomings. And we can, especially the objective of the main constitutional amendment was mainly establishing vibrant panchayats, which would be autonomous, self-governing institutions. Towards that goal, we still have to uh, tread a lot of distance. That we the very missing aspect. The Gram Sabha is an important concept of constitutional amendment and also the state enactment in every state. Every plan proposal must be discussed in the Gram Sabha and beneficiary-oriented programs or development activities to be taken up. That provision is there. But in most of the cases, Gram Sabhas are not held effectively. And the involvement of our local representatives at the assembly level and above, their interference sometimes comes in the way of elected PR representatives at 3 levels, taking an independent view and actively involving themselves in the discharge of the duties. So these are some of the issues that we face, and I thank you for this, and again for this opportunity, uh, for giving me. Though there are a lot of things are there to be said, for the time being, this is sufficient for us because uh, Mr. Rabi Vajpayee ji, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, was when he became Prime Minister for the first time for 13 days. I was a member of Lok Sabha in the very Lok Sabha, representing my Bangalore North constituency. I have had, at that time, I had contact with him on some occasions even before he became the Prime Minister. Again, I was a member of the Indian parliamentary delegation during the 11th Lok Sabha when he led our team to the United Nations organization, where I was given a rare opportunity to make a presentation in the standing committee and also plenary of the General Assembly as a representative along with him. This is a very, uh, I have very pleasant memories of my brief association with him to commemorate his birthday. Government of India earmarked today as the National Good Governance Day. It's an introspection on the subject. We working in Panchayat Raj as elected representatives or officials involved or those organizations committed to see that this experiment succeeds. It's a great occasion. I thank you very much, especially Dr. Sundaramji and this organization, this team, the organization, for sharing few of my views on the subject. Thank you very much.